Dr. Reena Awasthi from Bhopal cracked the NEET exam, moved ahead, finished her MBBS. 7 years of grind. And then she joined a private hospital. Reena had a dream to become a doctor and serve the nation. But she had no idea what she signed up for. 7 years into the medical school, and that was an academic grind. And then comes something which she never expected. She joined a top hospital, private hospital in Bhopal, because that's her hometown. And the salary was good, but night shifts, lack of staff, lack of resources. The final salary which she was getting was simply not worth it because she was facing a burnout. That's when Dr. Reena Awasthi wrote to me, said that, what if I move into Bangalore? Will there be less workload or burnouts? How do you foresee that? So I reached out to some of the doctor friends in Bengaluru, asked them, and they laughed. And they said, burnout, night shifts is a part of the grind. Nobody tells you what you sign up for, but you really can't ignore that as a doctor or a junior doctor, by the way. And that's where Dr. Reena Awasthi again told me that, okay, what about non-clinical jobs? Are there any non-clinical jobs where I can work? I said, okay, Reena, we can make a video on this so that it can help all other doctor friends. So here I am trying to enlist around 7 to 10 top options which you have. If you don't want to go for your PG, that is MDMS, or if you don't want to go for a regular hospital job, if you want to go for something in organized sector, I'm not saying the healthcare sector is unorganized, but the way doctors are treated in hospitals, especially private hospitals, as if they can be allotted any shift and they have to say yes, because do they have any other options, right? Because they've taken the oath, they have to serve the patients. If the shift is at night, do it. If the patient is dying, okay, what is day, what is night, I don't know. All that burnout has led to a big fleet of doctors actually who are looking for non-clinical jobs. And the number one non-clinical job where you can get in, by the way, of course, not research side. Research side is huge. That is something which you can always explore. So the non-clinical, non-research side, number one highest paying job will be clinical data management. Now, what exactly it is? Managing data generated from clinical trials, ensuring it is clean, accurate, submission ready, and regulatory agencies love that, right? So what really goes wrong is if a student from any other segment comes in. Of course, pharma people do this a lot. So problem will be that they are not trained the way you are, right? So doctors have medical knowledge which helps in understanding protocol deviations, adverse events, and data discrepancies better, faster, and much more efficiently. And that is why the clinical data management role suits you the best. Now, what you need to know? You need to know some softwares like Medical Rave, Oracle Clinical, C-Dash, and then of course, you need to know what is the career path here. So you start as a clinical data manager, you become a data manager, you become a project lead, it leads to vice president of clinical operations, and finally, it leads to a lot of salary. Now, what will be the salary range? You'll start at 12 lakhs per annum and it goes to 1 crore. Now, which are the top companies which are hiring clinical data management professionals, especially doctors? So, as a doctor, you have a upper hand compared to all other clinical data professionals because a clinical data professional with 2 years experience and a doctor, doctor will get a better preference. So you are like, more preferred. So you command a salary better than them. And that is where a little bit of training in clinical data management is required for you. So what I would suggest to you is Biotecnika has a clinical data management self-learning training program. So you can attend that in your free time. And then we have live projects where you can work on real data, which is being generated from clinical trials, and you can practice that. So you get a training program certificate, of course, a project certificate. And then when you apply, of course, our team places students of clinical data management into various companies. You can get work from home jobs in clinical data management, which is unheard of, right? In doctor, you would not have heard of a doctor not going to the hospital. That you have to do. You have to go to the clinic or the hospital, irrespective of where it is, right? So now coming to the second topmost, job which you can get in is of course clinical research, monitoring clinical trials. Who can do better than a doctor? You get very high salary, but there is frequent travel. Good salary, but international opportunities are also there. You can get jobs in Malaysia, Indonesia, Europe, China, Russia, Japan, US. A lot of research is happening, clinical research is happening, so you can go there. Salary ranges from 12 lakhs per annum goes up to 28 lakhs per annum as of India, but of course US and all will be much higher. There is something called Pharma strategy and product management teams. So you can join this if you have a good marketing angle also. So basically you are advising the pharma companies, not as a consultant, but of course as a member of the team, on how to strategize the medicine or the product so that more doctors prescribe it, right? So because you are yourself a doctor, so you have that, right? So you bridge the gap between pharma and the medical sciences fraternity. Now, of course, this requires scientific communication. Salary ranges from 12 lakhs per annum goes up to 50 lakhs per annum, because product management team, PMT, is something like the most important team in the pharma industry for any pharma company. Then we have pharmacovigilance. The fourth number would be pharmacovigilance and drug safety. So of course, as a doctor, you can monitor better. You can report adverse drug reactions faster. In fact, you can also treat at times. So there's a huge demand for this kind of role for new drug approvals, right? NDAs. Salary starts at 15 lakhs per annum, goes up to 45 lakhs per annum, depending on your experience and depending on your expertise, right? Now coming to regulatory affairs, right? Globally, regulatory affairs is one such thing where you can go to any other continent also and work. So you have to basically do dossier preparation for drug approvals, for DCGI, FDA, EMA. And doctors have a strong edge here because they have a clinical understanding of the drug. So they can do things better in global regulatory affairs. Again, Biotecnika has a training for clinical research as well as regulatory affairs, so you can take training for that, and of course then only you can get jobs here. The salary starts at 18 lakhs per annum, can go up to 45 lakhs per annum depending on your expertise and experience. Now coming to the next one, which is medical writing with AI. So you must have seen a lot of US doctors have written prescriptions that has to be coded, and medical coding is booming in the industry. We have so many companies hiring, and doctors actually get into the managerial role here and leadership positions. So you would be actually, first you have to of course understand and learn medical writing, and then you will be writing clinical study reports, protocols, regulatory documents. Of course you need training for that. Biotecnika and MedTech has that. Then of course you can also be a part of the government setup in epidemiology, as well as NGOs and World Health Organization. So you can be working on global health, One Health, antimicrobial resistance. You would be somebody who would be, talking to the government and helping them frame policies. There's a lot of money here, and nobody talks about it sadly, but trust me, it is huge. Then we have healthcare consulting. Of course, there are a lot of health tech companies and companies who want to keep people, improve people's lifestyle. When you can start your own company, and that is also one of the things which you can do. And then comes the digital tech, MedTech company. You have a very good understanding of the disease side. You could be advising MedTech, or you could be working in medical technology companies as well as health tech companies. Health tech companies would require your product management advices, clinical AI validation, or telemedicine. So that is where you will be. It's one of the fastest growing sector right now, right from the Apple Watch to Medtronic's pacemaker. Everywhere you and your expertise is required. Salary starts at 30 lakhs per annum, goes up to 1 crore. Next we have, of course, you can become a teacher in a medical school or a college, where of course it's a work-life balance, right? Now why CDM and clinical research deserves your special attention is because that is where you get a lot of work from home jobs. So it's very convenient. Of course, if you ask me to rank, the most exciting one I have not included here yet, that is biotech research. But for that you require a lot of especially CRISPR is one such thing. But for that, you require a lot of wet lab training in a biotech lab. But that's something, if you're interested, please comment below. I'll try to make another video for that. So looking at the current scenario, if you are an MBBS doctor and you don't want to go for MD or you don't want to go into the hospital setup, there are multiple other opportunities also. But having said that, make your choices carefully, because medical practice is a noble profession. I would still suggest you go ahead with that, maybe your own clinic, but avoid burnouts, because you're a doctor, you're here to treat others, not to yourself become a mental patient. So that's my advice. Choose anything among all these 10 which I mentioned. To me, the best one is starting your own biotech or HealthTech or MedTech company. If you would like to do that, write to me at shekhar@biotecnika.org. So I'll see you soon in the next video. Till then, keep shining, take care, and avoid burnouts. All the best.